In software development, there's a process called Agile development. And in this video, I want to talk to you about what Agile is and how you can apply it to your life. So when you plan out software, the old way was you have to plan everything out. You plan everything out, all the features, all the development, and once you plan everything out in this one huge project, then you start to develop. But the problem was you spend all this time building something, and labor for development is an expensive process. So you build it, and then you might realize that you had a hypothesis of what's going to work, and it doesn't work. You don't get any users on it. So there's a new strategy that counteracts that, and that's Agile. And usually my old company did it in 2 weeks, but you work in 2 weeks intervals. You plan out your tickets, your projects for these 2 weeks, and then after the end of the 2 weeks, you reflect, you evaluate your process, and then you plan out the tickets for the next 2 weeks that you do. You don't plan out these tickets, instead of planning out these tickets for a quarter or a year, it's just 2 weeks. And then by doing this, it allows more flexibility and what actually happens, some projects gets canceled. You might work on something and realize that it's not needed, reflect, but sometimes projects are a success. So it's a lot of experimenting going on of what works. And then another point that this process emphasizes is feedback, because you might work on a project for years without any feedback. But by working on something for 2 weeks, you can get feedback about what you did, what users thought, how you felt doing it, if something is going to be a lot harder than you thought, which is things being harder than you thought is like the majority of times, or it could be easier than you thought. And so you get feedback on the amount of work required for a project. And so that's Agile, and then that's how I start adapting in my life. I'm building a side project now, and I used to think, it has to be this huge thing, huge innovative project where it's unique. There's no other apps like it. But now I'm just iterating it, small, creating the MVP, small. I'm going to create a project that solves the problem at the smallest scope possible. So that's what I'm working on, and going to iterate it, get feedback as fast as possible. Going to launch it and iterate it on as fast as possible, instead of thinking of all the possible ideas I have for this app and then get feedback. And because if you try to plan out this huge app, it might not even get done, because it's so intimidating. But by having smaller cycles, smaller release, you'll get to ship it sooner. And this doesn't just have to apply for software, but for whatever endeavor you have, like a business, YouTube, fitness. There's different strategies you can go about it, and you want to do something for a short period of time, like 2 weeks, and then reflect on it. How I dieted for 2 weeks. Was this a good diet? Did I feel good on it? Did I lose sleep on it? Was I cranky on it? How are the cravings on it? And then you can iterate on it and improve, and find a diet system that's right for you, rather than being strict on this one process that you might do a diet routine for a year or years that might not work for you. So you want to be flexible in whatever endeavor you have, get feedback, and iterate on it. because LLC, like in software development, it can be costly. But for any endeavor, you're utilizing your time, your energy to pursue it. So you want to be mindful of it as much as possible. So that's all I want to share with you today about the process of Agile. My name is David. I'm a freelance web developer based out of Las Vegas. If you need help building out your web app, SaaS app, website, if you're learning how to code and you need some help, feel free to message me about what you're working on, what projects you have, what you're struggling with, any questions you have, and I can see how I can help. Thank you.